What's happening, guys? First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Unbiased Sports Family for always supporting this channel. So thank you so much, guys. As you guys could tell, UFC 205 is upon us. If you guys haven't seen the press conference on Thursday, man, this thing was crazy. I thought it was pretty funny. And I'll be honest with you guys, Eddie Alvarez isn't phased by Conor McGregor's mind games, so it's really not working. As you guys could tell, he was, both of them got, Conor took his belt, took it back to his seat. Then Eddie Alvarez came back, took the belt back, and of course, they about to get into a scuffle. Dana White got in the middle, and you see Conor McGregor picks up a chair, he's about to chuck it. I don't know if that was rehearsed by any chance, or it was pretty funny though. You know what I mean? And he came out with his mink coat. And this is crazy, man. Like I said, Conor McGregor, he know how to sell fights. And Eddie Alvarez, he's not new to this either. So, he has the belt. Conor wants that 155-pound belt. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens on Saturday night. Let me give you guys my review on this, right? If you guys don't know, Eddie Alvarez has been fighting for a while in mixed martial arts. He's been fighting IFL, I believe. Also, what's the other one? Bellator as well. He was a champ too. So at 155. Definitely, he's not new to this game, guys. Eddie Alvarez has been fighting for a while. He's a good sparring partner for Frankie Edgar as well, who's on the undercard for the 205. But anyways, let me give you guys my synopsis. It's hard to pick and choose, especially when styles make fight. Stylistically, this might be a bad matchup for Conor McGregor. The reason why I say that, when he fought Chad Mendes, how Chad Mendes got him down to the ground and just pretty much held him there. Of course, Chad Mendes was a smaller guy. Eddie Alvarez, he might be a little bit shorter, but to me, physicality-wise, Eddie Alvarez is the bigger man. I'll be honest with you guys, just because he's been fighting in a 155-pound weight division, and he was fighting bigger dudes. So that just goes to show you. And if you guys don't know, recently he won the belt against RDA and pretty much put RDA out. He out-wrestled him, and he pretty much finished him with his strikes. So, it's going to be a really tough fight for Conor. On the other hand, Conor McGregor, the good thing about Conor, even though he talks so much shit, he backs it up, man. He has one of the fastest KOs, man, especially for the 145 division when he took out Jose Aldo. Caught him clean, right on the button, just pretty much put out Jose Aldo, lights out. And, I'll be honest with you, he's really never been tested as far as like taking that one punch to the face, which, I think Nick Diaz got pretty close, trying to put him out and pretty much, knock him out, but it didn't happen. But, the same token for Eddie Alvarez, if you guys ever seen Bellator, and I'm sure you guys did, when Michael Chandler pretty much, beat Eddie Alvarez for that title and pretty much just finished them too. So, and like I said, they both got good chins. Technically, I don't think Eddie Alvarez got knocked out, but he did get finished. Definitely, Michael Chandler is legit too. So, unfortunately, he fights in the Bellator, but well, that's another. That'll be another story. But anyways, getting back to these two guys right here. Interesting, stylistically, I said, it's gonna be a bad matchup for Conor, as what I said earlier. For Conor to win, he has to stay on the outside. He don't want to end up on the ground with this guy right here, because this guy got a heavy top game. And as I quoted earlier, he's a bigger fighter, physical wise. Conor, he has great hand speed. And as far as that, he has to stay elusive. So he's got to really be mindful of the takedown, because this guy, he's an excellent wrestler. And once he gets you down, you see what he did to Anthony Pettis. Just held him there, just ground him, pound him. So we'll see what happens. And you guys got to keep in mind too, one, he has the punching power as well, because you guys seen what he did to RDA. Conor has to really put pressure on Eddie Alvarez. He can't take this fight moving backward. He needs to put pressure on Eddie and keeps coming forward. That's the only way I see Conor gonna win. Throwing out those punches, leg kicks, and just pretty much doing the switch kicks. And he has to be really tricky with his stand-up game. He don't want to be too kind of, how do you say it? he don't want to get timed, especially with those leg kicks, because Eddie Alvarez is known for catching the leg kicks to take you down to the ground. So, I'll be honest with you guys, it's going to be a really tough fight for Conor. As much as everybody wants to be on that hype train, which is true, and Conor McGregor brings it, he has loyal fans. Like I said, he talks a lot of trash, but he put people in seats, and that's the reason why people pay to watch this man fight. So he is comparable to Mayweather in the MMA world right now. He's the hottest. He's the guy to bring people into the sport too, just because he's very boisterous, and he just don't care. He was even late for the press conference too. So, and Eddie Alvarez doing the same thing too. What Conor does best, he was talking trash as soon as the press conference started. He was saying, "Where is your champion? Where's my opponent? He's late. He can't even show up on time. He's probably scared." And definitely, this is Madison Square Garden. This is the first time UFC made it to New York, and the biggest stage on the East Coast would be, Madison Square Garden. So, this is a rich boxing history in Madison Square Garden. Muhammad Ali fought there. The best of the best fought there. Mayweather fought there as well. And like I said, this is another level for the UFC, and they're gonna have another event. I think UFC 209 gonna be in Barclay, which is up in Brooklyn too. But anyways, guys, let me give you my thoughts and my synopsis. To me, as much as I like Conor McGregor, it's gonna be a tough fight for him. Just because Eddie Alvarez, he's a veteran of the sport. Not only he's a wrestler, and he has striking, and just stylistically, I don't think this is gonna be it's gonna be a long night for Conor. Not saying Conor can't win, it's gonna be a tough win for him. Like I said, gassing out, because you've seen him gassed out as well in the Nick Diaz fight number 2. He's still gassed out even though he trained on cardio. Hopefully his cardio is a lot better, just because this guy has cardio for days, and you guys seen what it did to Anthony Pettis. So if Conor gasses out, definitely Eddie Alvarez is going to win. All right? If Conor tags Eddie Alvarez because he has that chin, because you seen what Michael Chandler did to him, he did get stunned. So, and I don't know exactly if we're saying who had a harder punching power. I think, one, he has that knockout power ability, because you've seen him just cruise his way through the belt in the 145-pound weight division, but he's in the 155 division. So, and Eddie Alvarez has been fighting a lot heavier and bigger guys than Conor. So, let me give you my pick. Like I said, as much as I hate to bet against Conor McGregor, and if I am wrong, I'm going to apologize anyways. I just think it's going to be a rough night for him. I think Eddie Alvarez is going to take him down to the ground, just pretty much ground and pound him, and probably wear him down and just pretty much try to gas out Conor McGregor. And I think that's how it's going to go. I was wrong before when he fought Nick Diaz on the second fight. So hopefully Conor proves me wrong again. But I just see Eddie Alvarez just going to be way too much for him in the wrestling game, just because what happened to him when he fought Chad Mendes. So guys, leave me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. This is just my opinion. Don't take it personal, guys, because I know there's a lot of Conor McGregor fans out there, and I'm one of them. But I just think this is going to be it's going to be Eddie Alvarez's night, because the ground and pound, and just pretty much the wrestling, and just because what I've seen in the past when Conor fought Chad Mendes, and Chad Mendes was really close too, by the way, guys. And Chad Mendes is way smaller than Eddie Alvarez. So to me, this guy's gonna probably copy Chad Mendes's game plan, and I think that's what's gonna happen. And if they get into a striking match as well, if Conor lands first, then he might get a chance to take his Eddie Alvarez's belt. But don't count Eddie Alvarez's punching power too, because he has some heavy hands as well. So as you guys know, when he took RDA, so it's gonna be a rough one stylistically. It's gonna be a tough match for Conor. I don't know how many times I said that already, but like I said, Conor, if you prove me wrong again, guess what, man? I never bet against you ever. But anyways, my pick right now is gonna be Eddie Alvarez for the win. And like I said, it's gonna be a rough night for Conor if he don't put pressure on Eddie Alvarez and keep switching his kind of confuse him with his striking ability, from punches to leg kicks, and just staying out of in the line of fire, you know, staying away from the straight line, which means he needs to evade a lot of. He needs to evade. He needs to try to circle left versus circling to the right, because you know that's kind of the pattern of Eddie Alvarez. And not only that, I just think he just needs to stay elusive and you know trying to avoid all the takedowns as well. But definitely, it's gonna be a rough night for Conor if he don't put the pressure on Eddie Alvarez the first 2 rounds, and if he doesn't gas out. So, you know, and hopefully his cardio. He said he'd been working on his cardio. We're gonna find out, guys. So, but anyways, this is just my opinion, guys. You know, like what I said, don't be mad at me. You know, I do like Conor. I like all his antics. You know, I like his shows. You know, he's pretty much putting people in the seats, and it's growing MMA fan base too to a different level. And like what I said, man, I do enjoy all his entertainment. You know what I mean? Talking all that trash. You know what I mean? He's a great trash talker, and I enjoy it, man. But I just think personally, I already gave you my thoughts. It's gonna be a rough night for Conor, and I think Eddie Alvarez is gonna take the W. It's gonna be by unanimous decision, guys. Unless you know something happens. All right, guys. Anyways, like I said, leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. And you know, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Blah, blah, blah.